Now, the suspect in the deadly shooting of Charlie Kirk is not cooperating with authorities. That's according to Utah's Governor, Spencer Cox. Over the weekend, Mr. Kirk's widow, Erica, gave a tearful address in which she thanked first responders for their efforts and vowed that her husband's voice will remain. Well, let's cross over to the United States to talk to Niall Stanage, who is the White House columnist for The Hill. And the death of Charlie Kirk continues to reverberate across the US. We're now hearing he's not cooperating with the investigation. What's the latest that we're hearing across the United States?
Well, you mentioned Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, who also said that the suspect in this case harbours leftist ideology, but then went on to add that the motivation precisely for the killing of Charlie Kirk is not clear. So that's where things stand in terms of the investigation. Of course, the suspect will be entitled to his day in court and to try to rebut any charges. More broadly, there has been, I think, a push from President Trump and from others on the right to try to take punitive action against people who are perceived to be celebrating Kirk's demise online. That in itself is very controversial, partly because of the United States free speech protections and partly because of the idea that this is a partisan push from the right to punish people on the left and the fear that that may become a wider dragnet.
And when it comes to, we obviously saw his widow Erica give a really tearful, understandably, expression of just her sadness about the tragedy that happened. But she has vowed to continue his work. Is that something that we will increasingly potentially make that discourse across the United States? Which is already so divided? Will that amplify that, or are we hearing that both sides of the divide want to kind of bring about a more peaceful discourse if possible?
Well, setting aside the delicate matter of what Charlie Kirk's widow decides to do and what views she seeks to put forth, there is, I think, a general awareness that the rhetoric of American politics has grown very, very angry and very, very toxic. The question is what you do about it and how you do something about it without infringing upon those free speech protections. It's also worth noting that social media, Cassia, has received a lot of criticism, not so much just in the specifics of the Charlie Kirk killing, but in the idea that social media often takes advantage of and stokes people's angers and resentments and caters to their existing views and seeks to push them in more extreme directions. So that's all part of the picture too.
Indeed. Niall Stanage, for the time being, a White House columnist for The Hill. Thank you very, very much.